So one thing I've kind of come to realize lately is that it really doesn't matter what you do in this world, as in it's all based upon the ego, and this entire world is just a projection of our egos. And like, take for example, let's just use drinking or smoking or whatever as an extreme example. It's like the decision for somebody to drink is purely based on ego and wanting to see themselves suffer, whatever it might be. But then also on the other side of that, the decision for somebody not to drink is also based on ego, because they want to appear perfect or holy or, whatever it might be. So therefore, what's right and what's wrong? Because if both sides are based on the ego, whether it's drinking, just as an example, and you could literally name anything on earth, just using drinking right now as an extreme example. But if the decision to drink is based on ego, but yet the decision not to drink is also based on ego, then what difference does it make if you drink or you don't drink? And honestly, I'd have to say that it doesn't make any difference at all, because this entire world is based on the projection of the ego. And so there really isn't anything that we can do action-wise in this world that isn't based upon ego. It's all ego. But we can recognize that, so we can still do these things. We can still exist in the world. We can live in the world, because what choice do we have? We have to live in the world. But we can live in the world realizing that the world is a projection of our own egos. So whether we choose to do whatever, whether it's drinking or smoking, being in a relationship, eating meat, not eating meat, having sex, literally name anything. It really doesn't matter. Literally everything in this world is ego-based. But if we recognize that it's ego and watch ourselves whilst doing whatever these things are, and having zero guilt about it, because we're here, we can't help but be here, then the act of watching and becoming the watcher and being that, you can call it any name you want. I choose to call it love, but you can call it God, the universe, Christ, whatever, it really doesn't matter. But if you watch it as your true identity, without judgment, without guilt, without shame, without any of that stuff, that's the key, I think, to actual happiness and to real peace. Because does love judge? Love is unconditional. So and if you are love, which you obviously are, then love doesn't judge you. Love doesn't make you feel guilty. Love doesn't make you feel shame. Love doesn't do any of these things. Love just is. Love is that pure, unchanging consciousness that just is. And it's the ego that does all of that other stuff. It's the ego that shames, guilts, makes you feel bad, all these other things. It's the ego that causes all of the suffering. And really, at the end of the day, there's zero reason for any of this suffering, because we are love, all of us. We're all exactly the same. Every single one of us are the same. And we are all aspects of love, just trying to find our way home. But the ego tends to project, and it has this intense guilt from, it's a perceived separation from love or God. But because of that, the ego has this intense guilt, because it fears that it separated from God. In essence, it kind of murdered God. And it thinks that if it goes back to love, that God is going to punish it. Love is going to punish it, God, whatever name you want to call it. And that's why we're kind of stuck in this endless loop of suffering, because we don't realize we've kind of fooled ourselves so much, and we've really kind of made everything way more complicated than it needs to be. But the simple fact is that we're all just hurting, and we're all in fear. And that hurt and that fear is because we've separated from the love that we really are. And we fear that if we go back to that love that we are, that we're going to get punished for separating from it. But the fact is that we never actually did separate from it. Love has always been there, loving us, waiting for us to return. It's only been in our mind, our ego. And our ego has literally created, this entire universe in order to conceal from ourselves the fact that we are infinite, pure consciousness. So, yeah, the only way home, I guess, is to learn to love ourselves again, and to realize that the ego and this world is just designed to keep us trapped and to keep us deceived. But the deception that's happening is the deception that we're doing to ourselves, because we blame the elite, we blame relationship partners, we blame our parents. God, we blame everything, don't we? And the truth is that we're deceiving ourselves, and we've created this world in order to keep ourselves deceived. And we've done it out of fear, and the fear of our own love, the love that we are inside. And yeah, I don't know, I guess this is just a message of love, from love to love, saying, we're love. You, me, all of us, and everything we've done up to this point has just been a cry for love. We've just been crying desperately out for love. And we don't have to do that anymore, because love is here. Love has always been here, and love's never actually left us. It's so insane and ridiculous. Like, that's how just ridiculous the ego is. It's complicated things to the point of where we're literally insane. But let's uncomplicate things and make it simple. I'm love, you are love, or call it what you want. I'm the universe, you're the universe, I'm God, you're God, or I'm Christ, you're Christ. Whatever word you want to call it, it really makes no difference. But we're all that infinite, pure consciousness. And the identity of me, so my name's Travis, doesn't exist. It never did exist. And the identity as you, as whatever your name is, also never existed. It was all non-existent. This whole world has just been a fabrication of our own ego. And so once you learn to identify with what you actually are, which is love, then that identity kind of just fades away. And it's an identity that, like, now it's like, yeah, okay, I'm Travis that has to operate and function in this world and goes by that name, but I know that it's not my ultimate identity. I know that my ultimate identity is love. And I know that yours is as well. All of everything's ultimate identity is love. And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. And like, we get so caught up in our dramas and in our bullshit, not only do we forget, but like we're actively trying to convince ourselves that we're these tiny little egos that die. And like, really? Like, do you honestly believe that death is real? Like, how can it be real? Come on, man. Like, you know that you are eternal, and you know that you're love, and it's just like your ego just wants to keep smacking you back down again, and you want to punish yourself. I want to punish. I mean, I'm not saying it's just you. This is all of us, myself included. Like, I've wanted to punish myself my entire life. I've had this raging inner hatred for myself. And I've realized that that hatred comes from a belief that I separated myself from God. I mean, that's what everything comes from, really. We're all playing out in one way or the other a deep sense of guilt, shame, and unworthiness that we separated ourselves from love or from God. What I've realized, though, is that, like, I'm no different than anybody else. We've all got that same inner guilt and shame, fear, and that inner guilt comes from the fact that we believe that we separated from who we are. But the truth is that we've been kidding ourselves this entire time. We made the entire thing up. We never actually separated from who we are. We never separated from love, from God. Our source has always been here, just waiting for us this entire time. And it's such a beautiful thing once you realize it, and once you kind of see and like, listen, like, this is stuff that, like, I've intellectually known all of this for like years and years. So I've studied at Course in Miracles. I've done all that stuff, and like, I've known all this stuff for years and years, but the ego is such a sophisticated little bitch that you'll kid yourself and you delude yourself into thinking like, I've lost my ego now, and this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, I didn't. I really didn't. It was so sneaky that it just shifted. And it's like, man. Whereas now I can see that fully. And I've got no problem saying that, like, I've been deluding myself for a long time. I think everybody has been. And that's okay. It's absolutely fine. And I don't have any guilt about it, because that's what it took in order to get here. And I mean, look, that's literally the world. We deluded ourselves into creating this fucked up world with all of its absolute bullshit. But here we are, you know, and it took finally getting real with myself and just being honest with myself in that, like, yeah, I completely deluded myself. Well, I didn't delude myself, my ego. Well, I did delude myself, but my ego deluded me. And I'm not my ego at all, and I'm not this body. And neither are you, and neither is anybody. So you are who I am, and I am who you are, and we're all just love. And even along the path of finding that, we're still deluding ourselves. You're not seeing how much guilt, shame and hurt that you actually have. And I think that's like the final wall of the atonement or the awakening or whatever you want to call it, is when you get to that. And I don't know if you've read Right Use of Will by, I can't pronounce her name, Sierra Rohan, whatever her name is, but yeah, Right Use of Will it's called. And I read these books like last year, and it talks about the gap. And I didn't really understand it at the time, and I kind of did, but like, and she's talking about the gap and how like you approach the gap, and it's like, it can be very like dangerous and this, that, and the other. And I think I kind of realize it now because I have approached the gap, and that gap is that it's your own unconsciousness. It's all the guilt, the shame, the fear, all the things that you've never wanted to look at, that you've just kind of dumped in this barren wasteland of your unconscious. And approaching that gap and looking at that gap is, I mean, it's fucking scary, man, because obviously that's all the shit that we've never wanted to look at, we've never wanted to admit to ourselves. Like, because, like, let's be real, we're all really good liars. We're all really good at gaslighting ourselves. And that goes for every single one of us. So yeah, that gap is a place of like, it seems really, really fucking scary. And it is. Well, at least it feels that way. But when you actually approach it, and well, when you approach it, like, yeah, you approach it and you retreat. You approach it, you retreat. Like, it's not easy. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that it is. But when you finally do approach it and look at it, like, you actually realize that there was never anything there. It's like, so that's the wall between the ego and the unconscious, and love is on the other side, the love that we truly are. And it's like we've placed this demon there, or some people, like Rudolf Steiner calls it, the guardian of the threshold. Really doesn't matter, whatever you want to call it, but we've placed this demon there. And every time we get close to it, every time we get close to love, every time we get close to the real, pure being that we are, it's like this demon goes, bleh, and we get scared and we retreat. But we've placed that demon there ourselves, or that, whatever you want to call it. And in reality, there's zero reality to that. That's non-existent. It's a figment of our imagination. And so once you realize that and you cross to the other side, you're like, holy shit, I made the whole thing up. Literally made the whole thing up, as in my suffering, the world, my reality. I made it all up. It was me all along. I created all of it. And just like I created my life and my reality, but we're all co-creating the world together, and we all created, so you created your life, I created mine, but we all collectively created the world, and we created it on the basis of a lie, which was that we could ever separate from God or from the love that we are.